want to welcome everybody on this platform. It's so amazing. We had over 115 people sign up for this event. Please, I hope you can hear me. Yes, not just nodded so she can hear me. We had about 150 people signed up for this webinar. So we're expecting more people to come. So once again, welcome to today's webinar. Today is World Humanitarian Day. Today, just about us. We're just celebrating ourselves and thanking God for how far God has brought us. So before we start, those of you who don't know me, I'm Madam Shirley Abedibuafo, founder of NCVO Ghana. Just like I said, there's something wrong with my screen, but I've sorted it out so that you can see my beautiful face. Right, so we go on to the next one, which is the introduction of partners. So I get my colleague Michael to do that. So Michael, if you are ready, if you'd like to introduce our partners and our, our collaborators and all that. Thank you very much, Michael.
Okay, thank you very much. A lovely morning to us all. So as Madam Shirley rightly said, I'm Michael, and you're all welcome to today's event. It's great to see you all on call. So before I introduce our partners, I'd just like to briefly talk about NCVO Ghana and then what we stand for, and then will introduce the partners and then continue with the program. So I just want to also stress that this event is brought to you by NCVO Ghana, which is the National Consortium for Voluntary Organizations, and EazyTagg Technologies. Yeah, so we are the conveners for this event together with our partners. So NCVO Ghana is a nonprofit registered in Ghana that seeks to strengthen the sector through capacity building programs, through mentorship, and through consultancy. Our goal is to ensure that all nonprofits across the country and beyond have the necessary skills and expertise to enable them thrive and thrive effectively. A typical example is what was seen in our African Nonprofit Summit, which we had the second edition this year. And we were able to convene about 243 nonprofit professionals, which was a huge success. We had a maiden edition last year, and then we had a subsequent one this year on the May 13th. Also, NCVO Ghana has a community or a platform of nonprofit professionals. So, you want to collaborate with nonprofits, you want to partner, you want to share your impact stories. That platform is made available so that as nonprofits, we can grow the sector by, through that synergy, and then we obtain the impacts that we want to see. Yeah, so quickly, let me just introduce the partners. So we have 3 partners who have come together to make this event a success. First of all, we have the UK Ghana Charities, and then we have EazyTagg Technologies, and then we have the Free Part Alliance. So without much ado, I would want to welcome Councillor Thelma, if she's on, to quickly just introduce UK Ghana Charities, and then we can move on from there. Thank you very much.
Hello, Thelma. I think you are muted.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. My name is Councillor Thelma Odway. So I'm a politician in the UK, and I'm also the founder of UK Ghana Charities. So the first thing I'm going to ask you all to do is just to go on Instagram and to add UK Ghana Charities. It's very easy to spell UK Ghana Charities. And our main aim is very similar to NCVO Ghana, which is in Ghana, but we're in the UK. So we are also a network of charities in the UK who support Ghanaians either living in the UK or living in Ghana. And we are supporting all these different charities. We want to help them to be more effective. So maybe they want to attract funding. Maybe they want other partners or other charities to work together. Maybe they want a premises. Maybe they want some support with their events. So any support that these charities need. We are all a big network that we're going to help each other. Are you able to see my screen, or is it not working? Maybe you can't. Okay, there we go. So yes, we are a big network of charities. We support each other. And one of our big aims is actually, we want to do a lot of research into our beneficiaries and their experiences. And then what we gain from that feedback, we want to actually inform policy. So because I'm a politician, I want to ensure that when I hear the voice of Ghanaians and they say that they're struggling with this or they have this issue, it's not about just listening to that issue and just leaving it there, actually taking that to Parliament and seeing how we can inform policy. So some of the projects that we have is we have our period poverty project. So we're going into schools, speaking to children about menstruation and finding out what are the areas that they're lacking. Is it knowledge? Is it resources? Is it sanitary facilities? What are the areas that they're lacking in that the government can support them? We're also trying to promote storytelling. So encouraging children to be confident in their reading and reading out loud in front of audiences. Another one of our aims or our projects is Black Health. So living in the UK, it's a very diverse place. You have British, white British, you have Asian, you have Hispanic, Latin American, you have so many different people. But the way Black people experience health is different from other ethnicities. So we're really trying to research into Black health and what can we do to improve our health specifically with our genetics and our ethnicity. And as I've said earlier, all the research that we do and all the projects that we do, we don't want to just do it and leave it. We want to actually inform policy and even possibly change law. So those are our aims. But please, before you go, do add us on Instagram because that's where you'll get a full picture of what exactly we do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councillor Thelma, for all the good work. I mean, women in politics just excites me, and then we're excited for the work you do and the contribution you have on humanity. And next, we would have the representative from EazyTagg Technologies give us a brief introduction, and then we move on.
Okay, Michael, if EazyTagg is not here, can we have Freepad Alliance, please? Thank you.
Okay, so since we don't have EazyTagg at the moment, I would invite Na Asante Ameli Amar to give us an introduction for the Freepad Alliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning, everyone. I'm now Amelia Santiama. I am here speaking on behalf of Freepad Alliance, but to tell you a little bit about how it came together. So I'm also a founder of Power to Our Mothers Foundation Africa. And we have had the opportunity to be invited to partner with NCVO Ghana. You've heard from Michael about NCVO Ghana, for us to help push the initiative, which is now Freepad Alliance. Freepad Alliance. And so the purpose of this alliance is to really, it's a project to try to help eradicate period poverty, which we've heard a little bit about from our sister speaking from UK Ghana Charities. And we want to enter into doing research and advocacy to really try to eradicate period poverty and improve menstrual hygiene and health across the board. There's been some fantastic work that the Freepad Alliance has done so far. Whilst it is leading, Freepad Alliance, made up of NCVO Ghana and Power to Our Mothers Foundation Africa, is, if you like, leading the charge. The aim is to bring on board like-minded NPOs, individuals, to really help to battle or overcome this obstacle, which it affects the whole community. So we're looking to, the project is looking to promote equitable distribution of period supplies, improve access to appropriate wash facilities, and also within that, provide decent skills for job opportunities. The market is wide. We're having, I think, increasing number of options in terms of menstrual products that are available to our girls and our women who are of their menstruating ages. And so I think we would all agree that it is not a one organization issue. You know, it's a nationwide issue. It's even an international issue. So the aim of the Free Pad Alliance is really to now give momentum and bolster some of the wonderful work that is already being done. Some of the work that has already been done is for research to be carried out. A survey has been carried out in about 41 schools in the Greater Accra region to find out, you know, what is their experience? What is their access to menstrual products? How do they experience, what's the level of their menstrual hygiene at their schools? And there's been very varying data come back from there, but all to support the fact that this is something that can't just be fixed school by school, NPO by NPO. It needs collaboration amongst lots of different services, top down, side to side. So this is what we are seeking to do. And the survey focused on menstrual health management practices, challenges, educational impacts, and it really just probably confirmed the things that we already know in terms of the barriers that girls are facing in managing their periods, their natural flow, with safety and dignity. And these things are having an impact on their ability to fully participate in school. And then the further impact of that in terms of hampering them in fully participating in society. You know, and girls and women were at least half, if not just a bit more than half of the community. So we are asking those to join us, to collaborate with us. So just like the sister shouted out, if you have, 15 seconds, if you go onto Instagram and you follow Free Pad Alliance, find out some more information about how you can get involved. The project will be focusing as a pilot on the Greater Accra region. So we can learn, you know, what things can be achieved here, what are the challenges and obstacles, and then when we make headway there, to collaborate with others to roll out to other regions in Ghana. Because as I said, it's not a one organization issue, it's not a one region issue, it's a whole nationwide international issue. So the more people we can get on board, the better. So yes, please follow Instagram, on Instagram, Free Pad Alliance. And if you're not already following NCVO Ghana, Power to Our Mothers Foundation Africa and UK Ghana Charities, you can please do that today. So I'm now Amelia Santiama. I've finished. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very
much now. Yes.
So Michael,
okay,
if EazyTagg hasn't joined yet, we have one of the most influential nonprofit consultants in UK called Mr. John Kweku Mensah. So Mr. John, if you'd like to introduce yourself to us whilst we are waiting for EazyTagg to join us, please. Thank you very much. Mr. Mensah, are you still there?
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be part of this forum and to listen to what everybody is doing back home in Ghana. My name is John Mensah. I am a UK-based consultant, specifically charity consultant, and also the CEO of Outreach Management Services. I've been a consultant from 2003. My services are specifically targeted at helping charities and community-based organizations to expand their capacity. And some of the support I offer includes strategic planning and organizational development, fundraising and donor engagement, grant writing and proposal support, project design, monitoring and evaluation, governance, compliance and policy guidance, which is very, very important in this country. And I know it's same in Ghana as well. Then, of course, training and mentoring. So in brief, this is what I do. I serve on various boards. I'm also a consultant to the government and one of the 10 UK charity ambassadors. And then I also work with local and international based organizations in Africa and the UN. I've been working with Pastor Shirley for almost 10 years now. So we know each other very well, and I do commend her for the good work she's doing in Ghana. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mensah. Just like Mr. Mensah said, I remember 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, when I had a vision to establish NCVO Ghana, he was the first person that I went to see. And to be honest, he's been very influential in my journey. And very soon, NCVO Ghana and Mr. Mensah will be launching a nonprofit consultancy services in Ghana. So we'll let you know in due time. Yeah. So with further ado, I think we need to start our training. But with me, normally when I'm what's it called? When I have a facilitator, I don't normally introduce them. I get them to introduce themselves because they are the best people to introduce themselves. So at the moment, I just want to call upon Dr. Pamela to introduce herself and also start with her session. Dr. Pamela, we are very honored to have you. She's a very experienced psychologist. I'm not going to say much, but she will introduce herself. So Dr. Pamela, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I hope you're all keeping well. Can you all hear me? Okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
I've had
I
to put
can.
this on just so that there's not too much interference with sound. Looking very well, Madam Shirley.
Thank you, my dear.
Okay, so I am honored and very blessed to be with you this morning. World Humanitarian Day is not something that we often celebrate much. It might be celebrated, say, within the aid worker field, but as a community, as a society, I don't think we pay enough tribute to those who are on the ground day in, day out, working towards alleviating poverty, distress, suffering, and especially at such a really difficult time where there's a lot of funding cuts, a lot of uncertainties around what support people can give, because again, the strain on resources. But every single day, there are people in our communities, there are people in remote parts of the world that we don't even know about, we don't have access to, and they are doing amazing work to support other people. I remember some years ago, I was in Ghana and I watched the documentary, and I think it was Ivy Prosper that did that. She's a YouTuber, and I think she's also worked with the diaspora something, and she's also did some work with the Year of Return initiative with government. And the report she did was quite concerning. You had health workers that would need to sit on a boat and travel for hours through forest, through mud, and often there were places they were going, their vehicles couldn't physically get there because of obstruction. But every day, people are making those journeys to support people that they do not know. And I feel that on a day like this, we need to take a pause and recognize who these people are. And they're not often, the working with the big charities. There are some who are doing things just off their own back. I recently heard about a lady in, I think, Suhum or in Suhum. There's whom involved in the name of the city, somewhere in Ghana. And out of her needs, she recognized that other people have similar needs. And I think I'm not sure if she was born amputee, but either through cerebral palsy and other life challenges, she finds herself without the support that she needs. And she identified her circumstances, and as a result have set up her own charity that supports other people in similar situations. These are the people we need to celebrate. They go out on their own backs to support people. So it's not fair that everybody else gets a chance to tell you to go on your phone. So I'm going to ask you, pick up your phone or go to your email or go to social media, and I'll give the instructions in a moment. What I would like you to do, let's see, if I share my screen for a moment. I haven't introduced myself yet, I know. I'll come to that in a moment. I wanted to do the important things first. And the important thing is about recognizing those who are working daily. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
we can see it.
But that's not the response from yesterday, courtesy of a network provider in Ghana. I will not name and shame anybody. So for the next minute, normally we do 1 minute silence for people who have passed or people who are experiencing hardship. But for 1 minute, I would like you to think about somebody you know who you feel is doing exceptional work, either through paid work, unpaid work, somebody who is every single day going out of their way to make life better for other people. So I'm going to set a timer, and I want you to think about somebody who you've heard about, who you know, or it could be an organization. Go on their social media if you want to publicly acknowledge their work. So I'm going to set a timer on my phone, and in 1 minute we will return. And I would like you to really think about somebody. There's always someone. There's always someone out there who could do with a bit of an encouragement. So think about that person and send a quick message privately to their email, to their phone, or on their social media, just to acknowledge them on this humanitarian day. So if you will indulge me, I will start the timer, which I have figured out how to do. And time starts now. You've got 60 seconds. Let's go. You have 55 seconds. Let's see. Are we all doing this, or is it just me? Okay, let's see. It's not a lot of time to type something. Oh my goodness. Oh, time's up. I'll give you a few seconds if you want to finish your message, because some of us are not so fast. Okay, are we back? Does anyone need any special extra time? Are we okay to continue?
My extra time will be after the webinar, so I can record a video.
Oh, bless. That sounds very creative. And if you can, I would encourage you, if you can, make it public, because there's something about, I'll come to that in a moment. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. Oh, why is this thing moving? Okay, I'm back. Because when I share my screen, I can't see you all. I ask, did anyone, how many of us online at the moment? There's almost 40 of us. Did anyone in these 40 people receive a message? If you know how to do it, do those reaction things where you do a thumbs up or something, because I'm trying to still work out how to see everyone. Did anyone receive a message? Okay. Anyone? If you received a message and you would like to share the content of your message, please let me know. And I'm trying to work out how I can see everybody on the screen properly. Okay.
Okay, so I received a message. Do you want me to share it?
You are welcome.
Okay.
You are welcome to share.
So I received a message from a very precious woman. It reads, on this World Humanitarian Day, I would like to congratulate you and thank you for the work you do to support other people in their needs. Your work has not gone unnoticed. God bless you. I hope you all heard me.
Did anybody else receive a message? No?
Yes, Talk to Me Foundation raised their hand. Talk to me.
Oh, okay. Are you willing to share what you received?
Someone tagged me. Someone on the yes, Ivana. That is a RA initiative. She tagged me, and I think it's a sign language. It was silent. The message, it was a silent communication, but I deduce from the fact that she recognizes the work that I've been doing with the girl child. So I appreciate that.
Now, I'm going to push you further. When you receive that, it sounds very technical, so I don't even know how to tag or anything like that. When you receive that, how did you feel about that acknowledgement?
It is really heartwarming and quite satisfying knowing that one has your interest at heart and someone recognizes the work that you are doing. Even though what we do is not just for the cameras, but for I have come to realize that some people get a little, but because they publicity and the like, they are able to advertise whatever that they do. But we do have people who are the remotest village who cannot even bring whatever that they do to the limelight. So having been recognized as such, I think it is quite fulfilling and it encourages me to do more.
Wonderful. I pick up a few words from what you said, and you mentioned something that somebody's got your best interest at heart. Receiving a nice message or an act of kindness, it does something to our well-being, our mental health. It's recognition that yes, somebody has seen me, and yes, somebody recognizes what I'm doing. Now, can you imagine you go to your recipients, your service users, your clients, and on a day they're not expecting, you turn up and you offer the support you do? For a lot of people, just turning up alone is significant for them to feel recognized, because in a world we live in, especially when there is a lot of concerns around the cost of living, everyone sometimes often keeps what they have to themselves. And you've got individuals and communities who are struggling. They may be struggling with various health and social care needs. They may be struggling financially. They may be struggling in terms of stigma. They may be struggling for all sorts of various reasons. But on that particular occasion, your organization or you as an individual turned up to their home, to their village, to their community to offer a service, offer something that they've not asked for, offer something that they've not had to pay for. So you receiving a message alone that did not require going on a boat, that did not require going on a flight, that did not require somebody buying something, had a very positive impact on your mental well-being. And the work that you do day in and day out has the same impact or more for a lot of the people you're working with. For many, the work you do is saving their life. So for a lot of you, the work you do has immediate impact. And for others, it has long term, whether it's petitioning government, whether it's activism in all sorts of other ways, whether that's policy development, what you do makes a difference. So on this World Humanitarian Day, I want you to understand that you may not be thanked every day. The world may not thank you every day. You might not receive hampers and cards, but what you are doing on a day-to-day basis has a positive impact on the lives of those you are serving. So on their behalf, thank you. On their behalf, God bless you. On their behalf, please look after yourself. We'll come to that later on during the session we have this morning. Okay, so I will, if you will permit me, I will continue with my slides. And I want us to think about when we talk about community development, we're talking about, you've all got the program. Did we show, Ms. Shelley, did we show the program online for people to see in case some people haven't had access? Michael? Hello?
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Mike.
Iki.
Did we show the program online for people to see?
Yes, it was shared, but I'll put it in the chat right away.
Okay.
Yes, yes, so they'll see right
Thank
away.
you.
Okay.
So what we have on here, so I'm just trying to get my screens back. Okay. So if you will check, has it done yet? Let me check this chat. Is it in the chat yet? I haven't seen it.
Okay, I've also sent it to your WhatsApp as well.
Oh no, I have it, but I wanted to talk people through it.
Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can find it somewhere and I can talk people through it.
Just trying to.
Could you share, if you have it on your desktop, could you be
Here
so
it's
kind as
on.
to, you've got it?
It's on the chat. Yeah, it's on the chat. I've put it in the
It's in the
chat.
chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, okay. So if you have a look, oh, it wants me to download. I don't want to download. Okay, so if you look at program, we're looking at community development methods. Now, the way in which we deliver our service can be impactful, but if it's not done in the most appropriate way, it could be damaging. There's some help which is helpful and some which could be harmful. So if we look at community development, what is it that we are seeking to do? We are seeking to empower and build the capacity of people to be able to address needs. Now, other organizations online have got visions and missions and purpose, even if it's not written down in fancy text. There's a reason why you wake up every day and you're thinking about your cause, and that is your vision, and your vision then promotes some sort of action. The action will depend on who your recipients are, I hope. Sometimes we might have a really good idea of what we want to do, but then we need to ask ourselves, is it what our people need? Now, I want to take you on a journey of my own community development approach. And I'm hoping that as I share my journey with you, you will start to understand why it's important that we consider methodology or the approaches we take when we're talking about community development. So I'm continuing, assuming you can see my slide. So in 2003, post-master's training. Participants can now see your application. Wonderful. Post-masters, I've been educated. I'm fresh out of master's school. I've got this new job that I'm really excited about. It's in a community, it's in a neighborhood in North London, and neighborhood has quite a lot of health and social care needs. And one of them is around substance misuse. There are others around violence and crime, and there's others around sex and reproductive health issues. So for example, that community had the 4th teenage pregnancy rate in Europe, not in London, not in England. In Europe, that community in North London had the 4th highest teenage pregnancy rate. So in an area where poverty is an issue, it was among top 5% of deprived communities in England and Wales. So not only are they battling things with poverty, then you've got the added pressures of teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, violence, crime, apathy. People are not going on to do the type of jobs that they need to be able to fund themselves day in and day out. So newly qualified psychologist here, I was given a folder which had contacts of a few stakeholders, and then I was given the program brief as in brief of how the program and the project came about, and then I was given a bunch of keys. And my responsibility was to go and improve health and well-being. So I know stuff. I have gone through undergrad, masters, and I guess one of the benefits for me is that, you know, I've grown up around community development. As a teenager, I worked with an organization in East London called the East London Black Women's Organization, and they were doing fantastic work. They were doing a lot around domestic violence. They were doing a lot around supporting families in crisis, supporting family in need. And they also had an after-school club, a holiday club, lots of activities that promotes well-being, that supports families to do well. So I turn up post qualification and I start to work. I designed and developed lots of programs. I did all the advertising. I shared it with partners, shared it with local businesses. And then the day came, I sat and I waited. On some occasions, not one person turned up. On other occasions, there might have been 5 or 6. And I sat there. And then I thought, but I know things. I've been taught things. This is what I've been taught to do. I have been taught to put programs together. I have been taught to deliver this because the community needs it. I go on the outcomes, public health outcomes framework. I go on all the various indicators, and all you see is as indicators, red, 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 red. Everything is red. So I know stuff. I have put together a program that is going to address all the red, 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 red. No one turned up. No one turned up. What impact does that have on me? It suddenly makes me think, what am I doing here? But rather than thinking, what is my approach? Is the approach effective for the community I'm working with? My thoughts went to, oh, they don't care. They don't want it. It's all these problems. They don't want it. I've got all the psychological models and this nurse will do this and that. They didn't turn up. That means they don't want it. How could they not want it? How could they not want to improve their life? How could they not want to address teenage pregnancy? How could they not want to do this and that and that? So then my zeal starts to wane a little bit. And then I had this supervision with my supervisor, who was, I was attached to the university because I started doing my doctoral training. And I said, I don't understand. I'm doing everything right, but they're still not accepting the service. They're still not turning up. And then she said, before you do your next program, I want you to stop and I want you to go back to basics and I want you to understand the needs of the community. And I want you to put every psychological model that you know down as to why you feel that they are not accepting this program. So I go with a problem, I come back with a problem to solve for myself. And what all that research told me was, yes, there's a problem in the community, but are my priorities aligned to the priorities of the community? That was my first lesson. Are my priorities the same as the communities? On paper, there's a lot of problems. This is the same area where the local post office, where people receive their social care, their benefits, all of those, every week it's robbed. So that how that business owner continues to keep their business open day in and day out, I don't know what kind of resilience that is needed, but every day the business owner still opened. So all this problem is there. I, the professional here, me, I have the answers because I've been to university and I have worked in this community setting and I know what they need. I know it because I've been trained to identify needs. So I know it. I've looked at all of it. I know it. But it wasn't working. So I had to rethink. I had to develop a new way of working. And the new way of working meant that I had to strip myself of all my titles, all of my professional understanding, and go back to basics. I identified stakeholders in the community who had relationships with the various people who were priority risk population. Then I put together a stakeholder group. And then I started from the ground up. And I remember having supervision and annual review one day, and we have to, as part of our progression, have to critically evaluate our own professional growth. And as a psychologist, to stand in a room of other fellow psychologists who are in rehab and all these fancy jobs, and I have to stand there and title my annual review, I called myself a glorified youth worker. Not a psychologist, but a glorified youth worker. And I use the word glorified because I was still struggling with why I can't operate fully as a psychologist at that point. And what I needed to do was actually go back to basics. And the basics were, yes, there's a sexual health issue. Yes, there's a drug abuse issue. The delivery is where the problem was. So the community knew they had issues. I knew they had issues. The local system knew they had issues. Everybody knew, but it was the delivery. It was the approach. So the next question is, how did that transformation happen for that program to now receive evaluation as one of the very well attended sexual health programs that they've seen? It perplexed the researchers. They didn't understand. And the reason that transformed is because I became a youth worker. I stripped my title off of psychologist. Nobody cares what your title is. Nobody cares who delivers the service as long as the needs are being met in a way that they understand. So I set up a youth club. At the youth club, in attendance was a nurse. At the youth club, there was a basketball field. In the youth club, I developed, I started getting very technical. I bought PlayStation equipment where the young people can come and just have somewhere to go and play. Because in that area, there wasn't much provision. Because either it will get vandalized, it will get stolen, or that the investment will go to more infrastructure things. So that youth center was the only place the young people had to go. So I bought a PlayStation, but to improve physical activity, for people to access the PlayStation, they have to be stepping. So there's a step machine. When you stop stepping, the PlayStation cuts out. That's called improving physical activity. The nurse was sexual health trained. She was a prescriber. So the nurse, who also happened to be playing basketball with the young people, built relationships. So the young people trusted this nurse to talk to them about all sorts of sometimes very challenging issues. So they were able to access sexual health screening at the youth club. They were able to access contraceptives. They were able to also access other health and social care things that they needed through a youth club setting. So the needs are there, but delivered in a very different way. They weren't expected to attend a workshop. So that's just an example of how we can transform the impact or the work we're doing to have the impact that is needed in the community rather than come with our own set goals. So the community knew they had a problem, but the delivery, what was important? What was important is somewhere safe for their children and young people to go, because there were issues of crime. You know, one of the mistakes I had also made was that I had put on an intervention in a different part of the borough, in a different part of the area, which meant automatic exclusion for some young people because there's something called boundaries. If a young person in an area and the area is what they call beefing, that means there's how do we say that in normal English? They have kind of like gang rivalry. If that young person crosses the boundary, that could be a matter of life or death. So I had to learn about boundaries. I'm a psychologist turned up to improve health. I'm now having to change everything about what I know, what I've been taught, so that I am relevant to the community. And I'm using specific words that hopefully will get us to start thinking about how we deliver about relevance. So you might have the ideas, but is it relevant? The method that you're using, is that what that community needs? And I'll give you example, practical example. During COVID, we had, in public health, we had to do a lot of community workshop with certain groups because they became very resistant, is the words that was used, towards the vaccine. And the reason for that is there's a lot of historical distrust in things that are introduced, and Black and brown people are being encouraged to use, because we've learned our lesson in the past that some of these don't help us. So there's a lot of distrust. So building relationship was key to improving access to lots of health and social care needs, especially during COVID. So there's something about relationship, there's something about redesigning how we do things so that it actually meets the needs of the people we're trying to serve. Now, I'm going to take a pause for a few seconds, and I'm going to ask you if you have any questions at the moment. If you have any thoughts, if you have any challenge, I don't mind, about anything that I have said so far. I'll give you a few seconds. If you do, I'm happy to have a conversation about it. If not, we can continue. Are we to continue?
If I ask just very quickly, Dr. In case I missed it, and maybe it's good to repeat, but when you came to that realization that, you have all these qualifications and knowledge and, people can use them, but they weren't receiving it in the way that it was packaged. What was it that motivated you, like basically not to give up and think, okay, how do I pivot and make this relevant? What is it that helped you to do that?
Two things. One, a challenge. I have a very, some often healthy, sometimes maybe not so much. I don't give up easy. I don't, because I have a very inquisitive mind. My mindset is there's always a way. So if it's not working left, could it work right? But there's also something that I guess I have to accept as one of my unique selling points, in the sense that I like to talk, and I like to build relationships. Now, I remember, this is being recorded, so I have to be very careful how I say it. When I met my husband, he said, you have too many questions. Now, when I would meet his friends, I would ask questions. How are you? Oh, so what are you doing with your life right now? Are you happy? And I would ask these questions, and mostly Ghanaian men, and they're looking at me. What do you mean, am I happy? It's not questions that people are often asked. Are you happy? And especially if they have left friends and loved ones and moved to the UK, I would ask them, do you feel connected? Are you okay? Is there something missing? What would you? And my husband will sit there and then he will be quiet. And then when we go home, why? I told you, don't be asking those questions. Why are you? Did you see? But what that meant that I actually learned more about his friends than he did. There are certain occasions where a friend had identified me in a very serious medical situation as his next of kin. And I went, how the heck did that happen? And next of kin, I get called by a hospital. This person is being taken to emergency critical care, and I've identified you as next of kin. I went, it's just my husband's friend, you know. So it's about building relationships. So the pivot, it's about actually understanding what is the need. And I stopped at the challenge of my supervisor. I stopped everything I was doing, and then I would sit in a room and I would ask these people, tell me, what do you need? We need a youth center. We need something fun to do. And there was a project I had to do with Romani gypsy travelers. One, I'm Black woman with Romani gypsy. That does not go. It's a combination that does not go. So I had to build a relationship with their worker. And then what is it that one of the key issues is about early marriage, disengagement from education. And they asked me, we just want you to hold, put a party on for us. I'm thinking, I'm a qualified, I paid money to know what I know. You want a party. So then at the party, we had healthy food. I had the nurse, I had all these people, and they're talking to the nurse. They're eating healthy food, and they're engaging with people that they ordinarily wouldn't. So the message got sent, but in a way that I would not have thought about. Often I would sit in public health meetings or other meetings and I would be told, Black people do not attend health services. Black people do not do this. However, I can tell you that I have been at a church meeting on a Saturday where there was a queue of people waiting to see a health worker. And on a Saturday where they did not have a shift, remember, Monday to Friday, people are hustling for bread and butter for their family. But the health service, or when it's being delivered, is on a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Not everybody has the privilege to access. So it's about how we package support and how we deliver and tailor the support to people. So it's about, for me, the pivot was about stopping everything, stripping myself of the I know-itis and asking, what is it that you actually need? And then merging the needs with their desires and ambitions. Is that okay with you now? Is there anybody else that has a question before I move on? And I have to also make sure I'm keeping to time. I've lost track of time. So anybody else? No? Okay, so if you're okay, I will continue. And I will go back to the slides. Okay, where are we? And I am thinking that you can see this. I'm going to turn my video off for one moment because my screen is acting a bit funny when I press it. So bear with me one moment, I will come back. But the slides will remain on. Okay. Now, the benefits of using the appropriate method. You actually meet local needs, not the needs that you feel that the locals have, not the what is the word? Not the you see a sea of red and you make assumptions because numbers tell a story. But the meaning is in the interpretation. And who better to interpret their needs than the people themselves? It sounds very basic, And it is very basic. Because if you have an idea that I want to support children in the Brong Ahafo region, I don't know, you might say, based on my understanding, they need access to, I don't know, shoes or school supplies. So you go and you purchase all of these things, you turn up, you give it to them. Then what? So you give them pens, and then what? But actually, if you come on a rainy day, you realize that their classroom's leaking or that there's flooding. So they can't actually even get to school. So your pens and pencils were well thought, nice gestures, but then what? So it's about developing a method, a system where you are in and you are communicating with the people you are trying to serve. Because the numbers could say one thing, but the interpretation is very, very, very different. Collaboration and partnership. The benefits of having a development method that meets needs is that you're working in partnership with the people who need it. Because once you leave because you're the one with the professional talents and knowledge and expertise, once you leave, then what? So once you leave, the support goes. Once you leave, the needs are no longer being met. But when we think about the actual words, community development, the community should be developed in a way that it should be able to continue to meet its local needs with or without you. We're building stronger and cohesive communities when we are using the most appropriate methods, because through that process, you're bringing people together. I brought agencies together in that part of North London. There was health, there was education, there were local, who's the Reverend, faith leaders. There were young people who were trusted in that local area. There were youth workers who were there and are still there with or without me. There are neighborhood management system there. So it's bringing everybody together. This is the mandate. What does it look like for you? So the idea of the work we do should be able to bring communities together so that with or without you, the community can continue to thrive. You should be able to then give them the skills. And we've heard it all, that adage of teach a man to fish and he will feed his family for generations. But if you give them a fish, once the fish is finished, then what? So a lot of our projects, that's the give the man a fish. Because then what is lost? Once the fish finished, then what? I've said a lot of the then what? Because that's what we need to be thinking about if we're going to make sustainable difference, if we're going to make sustainable impact in the work we're doing. If you choose that your work is temporary or it's for a snapshot moment, be honest about that. But if you are committed for sustainable change, then you need to think about the then what. Once I have done this, if I have, if I want to improve educational standards and I'm going to do it this way, once I've gone to the school, once I've done a workshop, then what? What am I leaving with that community to be able to continue once I have left? True community development addresses all of these key points. What is the actual local need? It's nice, and sometimes I see on social media, somebody mentioned earlier about, it might be trendy for people to do good or be seen to be doing good. They have like parties for children at Christmas. They have, oh, it's my birthday, so rather than having a birthday party, I'm having a party with the children. These are all nice and provides loving memories for people and nice jollof and extra chicken for children. Then what? Then what? How did they continue to eat that jollof and extra chicken? How did they continue to sit in that classroom? Because when it rains, so that then what? And again, everybody's organization will be meeting different needs. So I think there's something about being honest with what you are delivering. And if you are committed, again, I will say, if you are committed for lasting change, then you need to really have a sit down and think about the then what. Once you have gone, what happens? Okay, this is exactly what we are talking about now. Community development isn't necessarily a method, it's about a process. Oh, it's a hand up. Hello? Was that a hand up? NCVO?
No, it was a clap.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. So it's about process. It's about not doing things to people, doing things with people. Because again, we're talking about lasting change. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Any remarks? I am hoping that by the end of our time together, you will sit down and you will think, then what? So if you take anything from this morning, I want you to think about the then what. Once you've done this, then what? Because needs change all the time. So once you've done that activity, because often a lot of our humanitarian actions require activity. For some, it's immediate. They need water, they need food, they need access to medical equipment. So often, it might just be an immediate need. For those who are looking to change communities and for lasting impact, we need to think about the then what. I think someone's got their hand up.
Yes, someone's put their hand up. Can you please ask your question, please?
All right. Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good
My
morning.
name is Kokwiga Aholu, and I'm the founder and director of Gomedupe, an NGO based in the Volta region. And
oh, hello, are you there?
I work with Keta almost all the
Okay, I think it's the network is
All
playing.
right. I have sympathies.
So if you can hear, you can put your question in the chat.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you can put your question in the chat and then Pamela can answer it. If the network, I hope you can hear me. Adam.
Does anybody else have any question in the meantime, or shall I continue? Okay, I will continue. Okay, so how do we do it? So I've already mentioned it's less about an actual methodology. You know, if you're doing research, you're doing quantitative, qualitative interviews. Oh, is somebody trying to speak? Is it me? Oh. Okay, so it's not about, you know, we do interviews, we do questionnaires. It's the process. And like I've put it, it's the principles that is underlying your how, what you are doing, that determines whether this is going to have the lasting change you're looking for. And like I, you know, again, if yours is a one-time thing, it's a one-time thing. And there are many, many, many humanitarian acts that require that one time. There are many communities who are in need of immediate food, water, clean water, safe roads. There are some organizations who are tackling maternal health because getting access to medical health needs right there and then can be important. You know, we know the stats about maternal health and childbirth and all of it. We know that. So for some people, they can't even get to a hospital in an emergency. And like I said earlier, you know, the documentary that Ivy Prosper did showed a woman in active labor being put on a motorbike. I've had 2 children, and it just brings tears to my eyes. I've not had labor myself, but I've heard people and I've seen what goes on in that labor ward. I've had C-section, so I didn't experience the pain and all that screaming. I experienced it after. But a woman in active labor being put onto a moped, a motorbike, to go through a rural Ghanaian road to access help. There's words that I cannot find to describe the fear, the anxieties, the concerns. And as we know from stats, many don't make it.
Yeah.
Many don't make it. So we have to think about, how do we do this? How do we do this? And again, in my example, it's not looking at yourself as savior, the one who has it all, who has the answers, but the people who live there have been living there for a very long time. They know how to maneuver things. So it's about using the expertise of their day-to-day lives and helping them to improve what they can improve, and maximizing your contacts and your understanding from other ways of doing things to say, could this work? This is what you would like. What will your success look like? What will an improvement look like? If your priority is this, what does having clean water mean to you? Is it a well? Is it developing a center where people go and get water, or do you want water in your home? So it's about understanding the actual needs and empowering people. Because again, once you leave, then what? They need water, so bring a tanker. Everyone fills their bucket. The bucket finishes. Then what? Empowerment, empowering, strengthening people and building their capacity to be able to solve their own problems. That's the legacy you want, the sustainability you want, because after you leave, they will still need water. After you leave, they will still need access to sexual health interventions. After you leave, they will still need to find a way to protect themselves from abuse. After you leave, they will still need access to the ambitions that your organizations or you are trying to bring to that community. The experts in your program are not you. The experts are those who have that lived experience day in and day out, and they are maneuvering. You need to understand how powerful that maneuvering is. That's the key to your organization's success. Okay.
Pamela, I think Adam has raised. Adam, do you want to quickly ask your question? If not, put in the chat so that she can answer.
Yes, please. Okay, so my question is this. I've been grooming quite a few persons in most of the communities that I work with so that they can handle the people, especially the youth, in my absence. But most of the times they want me to be there in person to supervise them. They're not often confident about what they are doing. And I've got some of the chiefs that I work with, I've given them guidelines and all that, but oftentimes they need me down there to, even recently we held a talk, they need me down there to come and coordinate and all of those things, which I find very tedious. So I want to find out, did you experience anything like that, and how did you go about it?
Does anyone have an answer? Because it's not just me on this call. There's lots of other people. Does anybody have an answer for our sister here? Or you just want to keep hearing my voice? If you want to keep hearing my voice, I will continue to talk. But I will. Oh, Dan's put his hand up.
Dan, do you want to answer the question, or you want to? Dan, go on. Right. Or was it a mistake?
It's still up.
Okay, still up. Dan, answer.
Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
good day, everyone. Can you hear
Good
me?
morning. Yes,
Yes, we
yes,
can.
good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, my name is Dan. Yeah, quick one. Representing EazyTagg. Okay, so for Adam, your question. Now you can't be everywhere.
That's
You know,
right.
yeah, you can't be everywhere. Now, let me come in from the angles of structures. And I'm a Christian, I believe we're all most Christian. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. Now, the difficulty we have in replicating structures is because it's not being defined. You know, just like what Dr. Pamela said. Once you define the structures, now write it down. The Bible says, write it, it should be plain that whosoever sees it should be able to read it. Now, in you trying to train them, trying to replicate what you have, do they get it? You know, do they understand the structures? Can they do it in your absence? That is one. Then two, have you witnessed them trying to get those things done in your presence so you can correct them? You know, that is physical impactation. It's different from they doing that stuff in your absence. You know, the confidence will be very low. So you try, spend some time with them. The little time you spend with them, now watch them do that leading. And this is what most organizations have failed. Most bosses, they're trying to be bosses, they're trying to implement policy and structures, but they are not living by example. For instance, let me just bring in this. For instance, we do events. You see, an organizer will ask, okay, we need tag. Every participant should have tag for that conference. And you realize that even the key organizer will not want to wear the tag. Now, he will tell you, oh, the tag is for participants. Now, it's not just for participants. There's the reason why everybody should sign in for that event. It's also span across security. We should know a head count of how many participants, how many people are here in this hall, in this meeting. Like this meeting, we have a database set. So it passes across. Now you realize that the organizer, the chief organizer who want to put on a tag, who want to sign in, who want these details to be clocked in, but you want the participants, other participants to also sign in. You're not leading by example. Now, back to your question, I will suggest and advise at some point, you just step low, you let the people you're leading, your training, let them implement this. You watch, you stay back line, you correct them because they also need your presence to build confidence.
Thank you. That is really,
Your
really helpful,
presence
Dan.
is there to build confidence. So watch them once. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think I don't want to take more.
That's really that's really helpful. I will go as far as to challenge further and ask, what is it that you're asking them to do? Is it within their capability and capacity to be able to do that? Because you might be asking them to do something that is not their natural way of doing things. But actually ask them, if you had to do that, how would you do it? Because they might have other ideas. I'll give you an example. So I've mentioned about, the fourth highest teenage pregnancy rate in Europe and all of that. How did we start to tackle that? We didn't do it through professionals. We did it through young people themselves, because we know that, again, I can only speak from the UK context that I know. I'm not too familiar with the Ghanaian context. The UK context is every child in secondary school will have what they call PSHE, will have sex and relationship education. Now, if that worked well, we shouldn't have issues with teenage pregnancies and sexually transmitted infections and all of those things. But we do. So that means there's something missing somewhere. So one of the approaches that I took with that particular community was recruiting young people themselves to be the sexual health educators. They would go into schools and teach the lessons that the teachers were not, I would say, comfortable teaching. Teachers don't like teaching PSHE. They don't like teaching about sex and relationship education. I can guarantee you that, because they see the benefit of a young person or somebody else going in is that they're going, then they leave. But the teacher might have to talk about very sensitive things, and then they are still there the next day, and it's awkward. And if somebody reveals something, it still stays there, and there's that awkwardness. And teachers have said, I don't want to talk about this with my, it's almost like they say, my children. I don't want to talk about that. So we train the young people on the health and the educational part of it, but they deliver it in a way that is much more young people friendly.
Yeah.
And on top of that, not only are we using those young people as free help, they got paid to do that. So the young people built up their, not just their capacity to teach, some of them went on to do some really amazing things. They were contracted in the health service to actually deliver that service to other schools and as part of their own.
Wow.
So can you imagine going to Kolebu or, hey, where are the other hospitals? All the other hospitals. And when you turned up to a sexual health clinic, you've got a young person sitting there. Can you imagine a young person turning up and you're not seeing the one that looks like your auntie? Does this one know my mom? What you realize is that Ghanaians, we are very connected. So you turn up to a center, and then when you go home, your mom says, hey, you went there today. And you're like, how did that happen? But the young people understand how to interact with each other. So what I will say with yours is, challenge your method. Are they doing something that feels natural to them? And if it doesn't feel natural, how do you build their capacity? What Dan mentioned was quite helpful in the sense of shadowing. Let them see you do what you are asking them to do, and then let them feedback and say, we don't do this in our community. In our community, we do it this way. In our community, we say it this way. And then once they've seen it in action and adapted it to their own community way of doing things, then there might be a little bit more confidence in doing what they need to do to serve that need.
Okay, doctor.
Yes.
I think what we'll do is, if anybody's got more questions, just drop them in the chat. And then I also think that because of time, we might not be able to do the breakout session because people are really eager to also hear the next topic that you want to talk about.
Okay.
Yes. So we'll just give 2 minutes comfort break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back. What's the time now? Well, you can still be there if you want. What's the time now?
What's the time?
It's
now
11:26.
It's 11. Okay.
So 11:30, we'll resume. We'll resume with Dan. Dan, you have only 3 minutes to talk about EazyTagg, and then Doctor will continue with the mental health, because mental health is something that we don't talk about in Ghana at all. At all. So 3 minutes comfort break. Just, get away from your screen and let's come back here at 11:30. Dan, you've got 3 minutes and then Doctor will continue. So far, so good. I mean, we can be here till tomorrow. Unfortunately, Doctor or everybody's got stuff to do. So, yeah. So we are coming back at 11:30. Dan will tell us about EazyTagg with the discounts that they have for all of us. And then Doctor will continue with the mental health topic. Thank you so much. Doctor, thank you so much. So far, so good. I'm really, really enjoying it. I wish we can do it, but we'll talk about continuing another time. So let's do that. Thank you so much. In the meantime, if you are still there, would you like to put your name and your contact details in the chat for us, your organization, and then just to network amongst ourselves whilst we are waiting to start the next session. Thank you so much. 1 minute to come back, please. So if Dan can be ready for us. Right, so we are back now. Welcome back. So Dan, could you like to share with us what EazyTagg does? EazyTagg is this event is organized by NCVO Ghana and EazyTagg. EazyTagg has been very, very helpful. I mean, those of you who've been to our events, they are the ones that do all the registration. Even this event registration, EazyTagg is the one who has done the registration, send you all the reminders. So let's just give them a big clap in the chat for the good work that they are doing. I'm going to clap for them. Thank you, EazyTagg, for being such a wonderful partner. So Dan, the floor is yours. 3 minutes, max.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Good day, everyone. Okay. Quickly, we are EazyTagg. We just like hosts have said, we are into events registration, both online and on site. And I just want to share this. I don't know. Let me see if I can share my screen for us here.
Yes, you can.
Oh,
you can share your screen. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So on my screen, we have data ethics and society, the human impact of. I don't know. Everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we
Okay.
can. Yeah.
Okay. So quick one, data ethics and society, the human impact of data collection. And this falls, why I'm trying to share this, because of the experience we've had during our work, just like Dr. Pamela said, can your work be that impactful to the society? And yes, I'll say yes. For our job, yeah, it's a paid event. Yeah, they paid us. It's a paid job, but the impact of data collections in the society is highly recommendable. And then I will encourage the society to also embrace, because data is one thing that it helps inform decision. You know, it helps organize. It helps take deep insight of whatever activities that is going on. You all agree with me that on a daily basis, we go out, we go to different locations, different events, different programs. At every point in time, we engage with data. We give out data, and we also take in what data, right? So I will say let's embrace it. And where I have a little bit challenge is most people, they find it very difficult to give out data, because I know, yeah, it has to be private. It has to be, well, we have to look at the security aspect of it. But like I said, for in a long share, it's a welcoming development, because I know here in this side of the world, Africa, we're trying to embrace data collections. We're trying to inject to try to accept this fact that yes, this is part that tech has come to be. Yes, we're trying to influence them and try to implement them in our corporate body, in our corporate society, right? So 2 minutes left for me. So we are EazyTagg. We are into event management. We can set up your online portal for registration, both on site. We'll be there on site. with every branded materials you need. And also, one advantage of our service is it gives you a deep insight of your participants. It gives you a total insight of a dashboard of your event, and you can give a break even of, you can have a break even of how many participants do you have. All right, okay, let me share this quickly. Okay, I think it's here. All right, okay, so here on my screen, we do digital registration of participants. We do digital presentation of attendees via usual portal, which your portal, we're going to set up a portal for you. You can log in and see how many participants you have. Hello, can you hear me? You can log in and see how many participants you have. And also, you can actually follow them up, you know, wherever you want with just an SMS, with just a link, with just a button. You can reach out to 1,000 participants with just a button click. And also, we have a distribution of event brochure, any digital media, via just a text message, meaning that in your event, if you have 2,000 participants, as they check in, you don't have to send them individually the event outline. Our system is that robust in such a way that once checked in, they have the message via mail and SMS. So that is another advantage of it. And we have button, we have a branded lanyard. I also have customized ticket in such a way. Once a participant is being registered for a conference or for any event, he or she has an e-ticket customized, be it paid or free event. So at the arrival, here we can actually identify that this person has gone through registration portal. And the last one, we set up a welcome and a welcome thank you message. And for your participants, as they checked in, they have a welcome message. At the end of the conference, they also have a thank you message. And I think we are good. And also we have other clients we've worked with. These are clients we've worked with for the years. And we are still adding more to come. We are still counting more of them. And we have some good response, feedback, and which also encourage the system, the structure, just like Dr. Pamela said, whatever you do in the society, you must get a feedback, you must get a recommendable feedback, and that's strengthening. Yeah, at some point we get some bad feedback, which we take it to heart. We don't disseminate it, because it's one of a making that you get a bad feedback. That comes to tell you that this area of your service, you know, strengthen it. And this is where a lot of service providers have missed it. They try to pay their ear to feedback. Bad feedback comes to strengthen the team. It comes to give you like a wake-up call, you know, in areas where you don't do well, you know, so you have to embrace it and see how you can strengthen it. I think that's all. So yeah, I think we've been talking about 300 more successful events. We're even going to 500, 1,000 successful events, both local here, both international events. We've been to Dubai, Canada, UK, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya at last. I think that's all. So we are EazyTagg Technologies, advancing in your events through technology. And I want everyone to embrace technology. Technology is a peak of demand right now in our society, and it had a lot of impact. It had a lot of impact. The word technology it has come to stay with us. Yeah, in as much as we're trying to embrace it, but I also encourage us, let's do more to embrace technology. These are contacts. I also drop this at the comment section. This is I'll share the file. So if you need our service, we are just a touch away from you. So thank you so much. I think I've been able to maximize my time. Am I right?
I'm not sure. But well done. Thank you so much. But I didn't see on the clients list, I didn't see NCVO Ghana. So please update your website.
Oh, forgive me.
One of your
Oh, forgive me. I'll do that. I'll do that. Oh,
Thank you
forgive me.
so much. That's
Forgive me.
a
Forgive
positive
me.
feedback, right?
Yeah. Positive feedback. Of course. Lastly, you can also do rentals in case you don't want us to be there on site. You can also do rentals. We can rent some equipment for you, and we'll give you guidelines on how to use them, so long they will be safe. All right. These are our team. We have our boss Perry, our technical director, admin, myself, Excel, Nicholas, Mira. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a few minutes. We have just about 40 minutes left. So, doctor, please take over. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
But I'm sure that was more than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
EazyTagg. That was my so says the person who overran and can't do breakout sessions. Okay, now although we can't do the breakout sessions, can you all hear me okay? You can.
Yes, we can.
Brilliant. Okay, now we can't do the breakout sessions, but what I will ask you to do, which is important that you do it if you are interested in improving your why. Let's have a look. If you are interested in improving the way you deliver your objectives, if you are interested in the way that you work with your service user group to maximize what you do, I would ask you to go through these questions. Sorry, in the background, there are some hooligans outside in my background called children. Don't mind them. Apologies. So think about your why. Think about why are you doing what you're doing? It might be that you've been doing this for some time, so your why was noble to begin with, but now you're thinking, is that really what I need to be doing? Or has the need changed? Think about the now. So right now, what is your why? What are you doing? Why are you doing what you are doing? How are you doing this? And what is the impact? So all that you are doing, what results are you seeing? And if you're not seeing any, be honest with yourself. Make a note of all of this. And then I want you to consider what you are doing now. If you want to continue to do that work next year, in 2 years, in 3 years, will I still be able to do that? That there might be resource constraints, there might be other issues, but is what I'm doing sustainable? Can it work long time? You know, that then what question I keep raising. And again, you might have started doing what you were doing a long time ago. Is it still relevant? Some during COVID, some people set themselves up to deliver certain social support, and it was relevant at that moment. Is it still relevant now? You might have, through COVID, identified that actually this is something that we keep needing to do. I remember one of the things that we did in England is something as simple as supporting people to collect their medication. If you are quarantining, if you are isolating, how do you go and collect your medication? So, so as a public health system, we realize that people still need their medication. So we put up, we put out a call. Are you able to help somebody pick up their medication? It might be a neighbor, and some charitable organization says, okay, we'll take that responsibility for this group of people, or we'll take that responsibility for this area in the community. And it's helped a lot of people. There are people who started to deliver food for those who are self-isolating, or the vulnerable, the older people who couldn't get to the shops. And there was all sorts of things that emerged as a result of a new emerging need. So think about what you are doing. Think about why you're doing it. Is it still relevant now? If it's not, that's okay. It's not about failure. It just means that your why served that purpose right there and then. But actually, how has that need changed? Okay, so again, you'll get these slides. Use these questions to think about what you're doing now. Right, the mental health part, you've already had your comfort break. Now, we know, this is not about anybody else. For this part of our time together this morning, stroke afternoon, I want you to put away everybody else. I want you to not think about your service users. I want you to not think about your chairman or board of trustees. I want you to think about yourself on this call. Just the mere fact that you have put yourself out there to help other people, you are at increased risk of psychological issues. Now, when you hear that, you're like, hey, this woman. And I didn't say that you have psychological illness or mental illness. Now we have to start rethinking the way traditionally we have been taught and we understand about mental health and illness. We all have a mental health need. The fact that you are alive means that you have a body and you have a mind. And traditionally, we have focused a lot on the body because often it's tangible, it's something we can see, but you can't always see what's happening in the mental health until perhaps it has got to an extreme where there's psychosis, where there's crisis. So we need to get something quite right about when we talk about mental health and wellness. Every single one of us have a mental health need. It's what gets you up in the morning. It's what keeps you motivated to keep going every day. It's what challenges you. So mental health is about our emotions, our thinking, and the way we respond to the physical world, the social world around us. We all have a mental health need. So if you think about mental health, it's like a continuum. So there's mental health, everybody has a need, and then there's perhaps mental illness on another side of the continuum. People who require additional support when we're talking about the extreme end because of inability to function or inability to meet their everyday needs. So our mental health is important to us. As a humanitarian, somebody who's going out there to support other people, often you are at increased risk because you are being exposed to other people's issues. Not only are you dealing with your own, you're dealing with other people's issues as well. And for those who work in very, very complex and challenging aid areas of work, you're often dealing with some really complex life circumstances. You are often encountering people who have either been abused, going through the process of abuse, people who are abusers, people who are on everyday basis have got an acute need. And you are sometimes their go-between. You are their intermediary to either help or to safety, or in some circumstances, to life. So there's an added pressure, an added trauma, because it's like, you hear of people saying vicarious. So it's like you're not living it, but you are exposed to other people's trauma. And like a lot of health workers, sometimes it can be very challenging to distance yourself psychologically, emotionally from other people's trauma, because you turn off your computer, you go home and you're still thinking about that person. You move on from one client, you have another client, another service user, but somehow you're still thinking, I wonder how that person's doing. I wonder if they were able to get this. I wonder if they were able to do this. Now, I'm very honest about my journey. So for example, when I had my son, there were some complications with after the C-section. And I ended up in intensive care. And I remember there was a nurse, when I'd gone back, I was recovered, I'd gone back, and she wasn't at the hospital on the day that I visited. The next day I had a phone call. So she breached protocol because it's almost as if she needed to hear my voice to make sure that, yes, I did survive. And yes, I was the same person that arrived in that hospital that she looked after. So she was the first nurse that looked after me. when she spoke to me, she said it almost felt like she can now breathe, because from the state she found me in, and then I was transferred to another hospital, you don't know what else happened to your patient. So she felt every day what's happened to this patient. And she said, I felt a connection to you because you've just had a baby. You've got, and you know, she's a mum, she's a woman. So she just felt this connection. And for all these months, has no idea what happened to me. But now she gets a chance to debrief herself and see she's okay again. So that's just to demonstrate how much when we give of ourselves, that impact us. And I don't want you to be dismissive of that. And I think sometimes it's not that we're dismissive, we're so busy doing that we don't take time to check in on ourselves. Just the mere fact that you are working with, and you know what, sometimes it becomes so everyday and mundane that sometimes you talk about things and it just slips off your tongue. I've worked in suicide prevention for so long. I see numbers, I see methods, but when the day that I arrived at a scene when somebody had just taken their own life, I didn't see the person, but the environment and the emergency work, I stood there, and for the first time, the reality hit my face. For a moment, I just stood there. Because sometimes we become so not necessarily desensitized in the old way of, oh, it doesn't affect me. Of course it affects us, but we get so used to hearing about it that it becomes almost like normal dialogue. But there is impact. So for this part, I want you to close off everything. This is not about methods, and this is about me as a humanitarian, you as a humanitarian. We're sitting there and we're thinking about the environment within which we work. What are the potential triggers? And sometimes people go to work and support other people because of their own experience. I want to do better for that person because maybe I didn't get that support. So I want to do it for somebody else. Or it might be that I don't want somebody to go through what I did, so I'm going to do this. So there's some personal interaction sometimes with the topic we're dealing with. Now, when I started doing sexual health and reproductive health, I was raised Catholic. So now you are telling me I'm going to be working in an area where teenage pregnancy, according to Catholic, you shouldn't be teenage pregnancy in the first place because you are not having any sexual activity until you are married. So not only am I having to address this issue, which conflicts the way I was raised spiritually, and now I know that the only way to improve people's sex and relationship is through knowledge and through access. So now I'm going to have to teach them about it too. And I remember I used to think, if anyone found me in a school teaching, what would they think? And then the realization came in about why we do what we do. People having knowledge and access is a basic human right. Because if you don't know, how can you do something about it, or how can you prevent it? So the work you guys are all doing, I applaud you. I commend you. And often many of you are doing this with your own resource. Sometimes you are going without or checking your purse just so that you can offer to somebody else. And I applaud that. But I also want you to take a moment out and consider the impact on yourself, and then put a plan in place so that you are protected. Because if you don't look after yourself first, you are no good to anybody else. Because when you're tired and exhausted and just depleted, what do you have to offer somebody else? Either the broken version of yourself, transference, all those various things. And you know, if you've ever been on a flight, they always tell you put on your oxygen mask before you even help your child. Because if you don't think about yourself in an emergency and you act rashly and you put yourself in danger, you are no good to anybody else. Then there's two dangers. So this is just to recognize that what we do supports other people, but you also need to think about how you access support for yourself. I feel that I have labored on the importance of looking after yourself, so I will move on from that. Okay, there are things from an organizational systemic level. If you work for an organization that delivers humanitarian aid, they have a duty of care for you to put systems in place. And one of them is about training managers and supervisors to be able to recognize and have conversations about your well-being. That's where supervision is quite important, because you've encountered something new or you're not sure about something. Who do you offload it to? Because then you're sitting at home and you're still thinking about it. How does that promote mental health and well-being for you? So organizations have a responsibility for their staff to make sure that there are systems in place to protect you. And the basic thing they could do is train up their managers and supervisors appropriately so they can have helpful conversations. During COVID, I worked with the Mayor of London's mental health team to develop a very simple toolkit on how people can have mental well-being conversations. Anybody can use it. Originally, it was looking at how can community and faith leaders who were essentially also frontline workers, the number of funerals that reverends and pastors and all those people have conducted over a very short period during COVID. I cannot begin to imagine the toll on them. Yes, it's part of what they normally do, but to do more and more and more of it in such a short period of time. I identified it to the team as in, we need to be supporting those people who are on the front line. Yes, the health workers are doing their thing. They've got their organizations, but who looks after those that are not within those statutory organizations? So developed a toolkit. Happy to share the resource for that. And it's really simple. SIGNS is just acronyms that tells you how to go about doing certain things. Their organizations also have responsibility to, implement other things, like the peer support, psychological, first aid training, all of those. But I want to focus on what you can do to help yourself, building your own capacity, because we all have capacity to look after ourselves. But sometimes it can become difficult to even just think of our own needs because we're focused on everybody else. But I want you to develop a practice. We often hear about reflective practice, but from an academic, a very professional point of view. But think about your own mental well-being reflective practice. Every so often, whether that's quarterly, whether that's I would never say annually because that's too late. I would never say 6 monthly because that's too late. Regularly finding a time where you sit down and you think about, how am I doing? So here, know thyself, self-assessment. I have an assessment that if there's enough time, we can go through. There's practicing resilience, have a plan. Now, there's something that I do that became a business. It's very interesting. Now, I started to learn to bake when my daughter was properly bake when my daughter was just hitting her 2nd birthday, because I suddenly developed this delusion, this idea that all mums know how to bake. Oh my goodness, how come I don't know how to bake? When I try to make a cake, it's either butter soup or rock, not the kind of rock cake you want to eat, the one that can cause damage. So why is every mom cooking? Maybe I should be able to bake. So then I started to teach myself to make small cupcake. There were varying degrees of success or not success. Anyway, a lot of ingredients were wasted in that process. And then when I thought I cracked, I thought, I wonder if I'll be able to make a birthday cake for her. Every night after work, up to midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, because I said earlier, I have an inquisitive mind. I want to know why. I want to know the ratio, because if I can know the ratio, then I can apply it to something else. And I managed to do it. And then I thought, oh, if I can make cake, maybe I can also learn to bake bread. So I taught myself how to bake bread. Now, the process of kneading the dough and the process of mastering something new, those have got evidence-based, there's psychological evidence to suggest learning something new has got a positive impact on our well-being. Make a plan. learn something new. I have this list of things, that mental list of things that I would like to do. I would like to learn to sew, because there's something about it's like you pull your all into it and you're learning. So your focus is not on problem. Your focus is learning. Your brain, a different part of your brain is activated. Endorphins are the happy hormones are activated when you've got it right. The day I made bread that didn't break anyone's teeth. So since then, I don't buy bread, you know. I make my own bread. I remove all the additives. I don't have to buy the ones that have been in the shop for 3 weeks already. All of that. I make fresh bread. And there's a satisfaction of doing something. So my plan, even when I'm physically exhausted, when the basic thing I can do for myself, when I feel challenged, I pick up, there's always flour in my house. I will pick up dough and I'll think, I'm going to make something. And through the process, it's like I will smile. It used to be going to the gym before I was married and children. You know, now there's childcare involved. So baking is something I can do without any problem. I don't need childcare. I don't need someone to look after it. I can just do it. So I'll pick up and I'll just go through the process of doing things. And then I learned that using my hands, being active, has a mental health benefit. So I designed psychological therapy around it. And when people are eating and making things, they're smiling, they are challenged, they're not thinking about the issue, and also they are relaxed. So they're more open to talk. So that became I call it bake and chat. We bake, we chat, we identify issues, we develop methods based on the art of baking. So think about, have a plan for yourself. What makes you happy? What are the things that when you're not pressed for time or you're not struggling, what are the things that you do that brings you joy? The healthy things that brings you joy. Because there are some behaviors that you think bring you joy, they don't bring you joy. Okay? So think about the things that naturally relaxes you and bring you joy. Make a plan to do it regularly. Social support. We know about the importance of connecting with people. It's mental timeout, but also sometimes when we're talking to other people, we suddenly hear ourselves and you're like, oh, yes, of course. Yes. So there's something about hearing yourself speak that is very important for learning and developing healthy habits. Of course, we mustn't neglect our physical health, what you put in your body, exercise, releasing tension. And there are times where it's important that we seek professional support. That might be whilst you are on the field working. That's where it's important that you develop relationship with supervisors and managers. But if you are a one-man band, there are other NGOs, there are other colleagues. There's at least, how many do we have on now? I think there was like almost 40 of us at one point. Align yourself with somebody that you can check in with, just so that you have the opportunity to offload, rewire, rethink, reflect. And for those who work in really challenging communities, you need to think about once that piece of work has finished. Some people go on missions for like a few months and then they come back. What happens? You're left with your thoughts. That shouldn't be, because after a while they can build up. So think about if you're a one-man band, aligning yourself with other colleagues, whether professionally or trusted, wise friends, family, professionals who can provide you the opportunity to debrief, reset. And some traumas might be ongoing, so you're continuously checking in so that you're okay. Because it's great that you're sacrificing time and everything else, but if you're going to be effective, think about your needs and your well-being also. Okay, so that was the main crux of it in terms of tackling your own mental health and well-being. And as I said before, depending on the area of work you do, depending on the needs of the people you're working with, the impact on you could be quite demanding. Physically, I know people who go broke financially because they use their resources to help other people. Now we have two people in need, a community and a humanitarian worker. So how can we be our best effective self? Because once you are depleted, what do you offer? I know socially we say you can't pour from an empty bottle or empty glass. Yes, we hear all of that. That means you've got to protect yourself, look after yourself so that you are of ongoing support to other people. Now, for those who are of a religious mindset, I want to bring you back to something. And this transformed, and it transforms a lot of people that I speak to, especially people of faith. Now, if you look at, say, the Bible, and if you look at often the times when Jesus did a miracle, or he fed 5,000 or all the others, what did he do immediately after? Answers on the chat. What did he do immediately after? There was a pattern. Anyone? You can put in the chat, or if you're feeling brave, you can share it verbally. Anyone?
Can you repeat the question, please?
The question is,
Yes.
when, for those who were listening, when Jesus did a lot of miracles or fed 10,000, or he was teaching on all of those, there's something he always did, and the Bible documented it almost immediately. What did he do? Let me see if I can see it in the chat.
Bella is putting in the chat.
Right.
I think there was a leftover when he fed the people.
What did he do?
Leftover. She said leftover.
There was a leftover. No, that's not the answer I'm looking for. Next.
Bella said Jesus took some time out and
Told them
withdrew
not
to
to tell
refresh
anyone.
himself.
He isolated himself to pray. He found a solo place to retreat.
Yeah.
It was, I remember one of the things that I do with the mental health team with Mayor of London was, how do we support faith leaders? Because I think they are an untapped population group, because all the people with marriage issues, children issues, death, the complexity of what comes to them every day, mind-blowing, happens to them. And I was speaking to a Methodist reverend, and she said, sis, and then all right, okay, that one is more than, when they stretch when you stretch the word sis, there's problem. And because there might be support, but even the time to access can be difficult. So often I noticed a pattern. He went to the mountains. He always went somewhere. It's like he removed himself from the environment and went somewhere solo, and where he could refresh, where he could build himself up, and then he can continue. But no, we humans, mere mortals, we know everything. We can do everything. We are superwoman, we are superman, superhero. We put on our cape. We are going, burnout. So if we can borrow that example, take that time out, refresh. It doesn't always mean you go and sit on a mountain. Where I live, there's no mountain. For me, it's baking. And you ask, all that baking you are doing, what do you do with it? There's evidence to suggest that when we give, it has a very positive mental health impact. So my daughter's school every week receive baked goods from me. Sometimes I even feel guilty 1 week when they haven't received. I went, oh, that means they think there's a problem in my house. Let me just bake so they know there's no problem. Because when I bake, it's too much. There's not many of us in the house. So I bake and I give it. So I go and this, sometimes a teacher will ask, when do you have the time? And I look at her and I say, I have 2 children. You have 30, you have to look after every single day. I have 2, and sometimes my mind. So I want you to know that I'm thinking of you. And she just looks at me. act of kindness has beneficial impact on you, the one giving, and also the one receiving. So win-win for all of us. So it doesn't have to be going up to a mountain, but just something that refreshes you so that you can refresh others. So for the one man, I see someone's one-man band. Find somebody, find ally. There are people in this. There's Madam Shirley here who has a network. Find network. It might be something that maybe Madam Shirley, you might want to think about. Providing opportunities for people to have a peer group system where they can offload. So think about opportunities within your own sector. Because if you're a one-man band, there's a one-woman band somewhere, another one-boy band, just come together and say, I'm really struggling with this. What have you done? How have you done this? And it's about sharing your knowledge and your expertise, but also opportunity to just talk through things with other people. Because one-man band equals problem upon your own shoulders that doesn't have to be there. Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much, so much, so much. I mean, taking, what's it called? Your mental health problem is really, really, really very important, because sometimes, just like you said, we might not even know that we are going through issues until something really, really hits us. So it's very, very important that, we take care of ourselves, because the work that we are doing, sometimes even having a project, sometimes you want to have a project, you want to do you don't even have money. You don't have the resources. That alone will take so much on you, So I think humanitarian workers, we really need to take it seriously. And just like you just said, maybe we can develop something for us so that we can one day just come and just talk and share. Because sometimes sharing too also helps,
Absolutely.
Yes.
And for those who are self-financing, think about other people doing similar things to you. Think about opportunity to work together, collaborate. I know sometimes people are shy or feel hesitant to collaborate because you don't want somebody to like muddy your waters. You don't want someone to take over your work. You don't want somebody to steal your idea. You don't want somebody to, when relationships break down in business, it could be quite tricky. But if one organization is struggling financially to meet their objectives, you two, you're struggling, think about what you could do together. If you're struggling with, say, advertising, another organization is struggling with advertising, then if it costs you 200 and it will cost another one 200, but actually if you come together, it doesn't have to cost 200.
That's right.
You can do multiple things that meets your needs. You can share flyers, you can share the cost of something. And I will tell you that it's not unique to NGOs. Even big government organizations in the UK do it now. The NHS, the health service. So for example, the health service in one area and another area, now they've come together to, rather than each funding, even a post, a worker who deals with maybe marketing, rather than 5 organizations all paying, they've come together and put 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. The 5 end up with 50 to employ 1 or 2. And that person then sorts out the marketing and communication for all of them. They have saved the money and then they can continue to do that marketing work. It might not be at that full capacity, but it's providing something as opposed to nothing. So think about how you can share your own resources. You've got EazyTagg here who has expertise in data. If you are looking for data and there's a cost attached to it, how about maybe another organization is looking for data? Come together and say, we need this. And then, EazyTagg will say, it will cost you this much. And then you kind of put together your resources and it gets done. But if you can't afford it, nothing gets done. So think about how you can rethink the way you manage your finances. Because I know my mother is one of those, one day we turn up to Ghana, there's 18 people in her house. Where she finds these people from, I don't know. And then she's paying school fees and she's doing all this. And then she says, I'm broke. Oh, this is being recorded. She might hear this. And then she'll say, I'm broke. And you're thinking, there are 18 people in your house. Where did you get them from? How are you feeding them? So think about how you can work together with other NGOs, other, some community groups are even willing to do things. They're willing to do things to help. It's, there's no, heroes are made up. It's movies you see heroes. In real life, we're trying the bits we can in our corner of influence. So don't suffer in silence. Do not suffer, because who benefits from it? And you're trying to help somebody and you're broken inside, and you are as important as the people you are serving. Put on your mask first.
Right. Thank you so. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on and on. So thank you so much, Doctor. We have to do it again very, very soon. But before we go, we've put some information in the chat. The first one is a survey. We are doing survey for the state of NGOs in Ghana. So please fill that survey for us. We want to do a what's it called? Collect the data and present it to government. Especially one of the things that is very important to me on the survey is how many people NGOs are employing in Ghana. There's no data. How much money we are bringing into the system. What's the impact that the NGO sector is making? That survey is in the chat. Please fill it for us. Secondly, the feedback form for this event is very, very important. Please give us feedback. Thirdly, we are having an event, I think it's social media strategy on the 4th and the 11th of September. That's also in the chat. Fill it for us. But before we go, I just want 2 people to say something to our powerful doctor. Because it's just doctor been doing the talking and myself. I can see 2 people. I don't want to mention names, but I know all you guys are very, very brave. So just, Akofa, I can see your face. Okay, good. So Akofa, what do you want to say to our doctor? Say something, please.
Yes. I'm so grateful and thankful that I joined this session, because we are always on the move. We want to help people. You want to make things work, and you start with a little passion, and by the time, and because you want to be excellent at what you do, you end up having programs, and you realize that there's even more in it than you even started. You have to do monitoring and evaluation, constantly visiting to ensure that you don't just, so for us that we've built 10 libraries. After the 10 libraries, what next? Now you have to develop another program to ensure that it goes on and on, be in touch with the teachers, and now they're asking you for TVs. So it's like there's a lot of problems coming to you, but you don't even know that you even need to take care of yourself in this kind of way. I'm just so grateful that I joined this session. I will just take time again to reflect and go over whatever you said again, because I know that when we are healthy, then we can also help our societies. But if we are not, we can't. Because I think for the past 1 week, I'm trying to raise funds for, in the new academic year, books to donate for annual back to school drive. And usually we get a lot of donations, but this year, I don't know what is happening. So it just took a toll on me, and I decided to retract and see what we can do better. So this was really on time, and I really appreciate Dr. Nkyi for this session, and NCVO for always thinking about us and putting together very useful and wonderful sessions. So much grateful to Auntie Shelley and Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, one more person, a man, Mr. Mensah, do you want to say something? Mr. Mensah, all the way from the UK. So, and before that, can we all turn on our camera so that we can take a picture? If you can, turn on your camera so that you can take a picture on our screen. So, Mr. Mensah, do you want to say something? Can
yes,
we all,
please.
Maxwell, everyone, turn on your camera for us, please? Yeah.
Yes, please. First of all, I want to commend the speaker. She's done an excellent job. The information she provided is invaluable.
Yeah.
It's priceless. And they were straight to the point, you know, they were very practical points. So I hope and believe that we'll be able to apply some of them. I was pleasantly surprised when she touched on mental health, because that was the first thing I picked up during the introduction. There was this lady, Talk to Me Foundation. And when she was introducing herself, she did mention mental health, even without anybody asking her to do so. And that got to me. So I was waiting for the opportunity to shed some light on that. However, our speaker has done more justice than I would have done. So congratulations on that. And for all of us who are here, please take on board what she said, because not-for-profit work, charity work is synonymous with mental health.
Yeah.
And I can understand those of you in Ghana, it's a very difficult one, because even those in the UK here are struggling, especially those who are two-man band, one-man band, small organizations. So please take this on board. It's very difficult. We've been given the advice. It's not going to be easy. It won't change tomorrow. But what will see you through is resilience. And then the second thing she talked about, which I want you to take on board, is stop working in isolation. You know, NGOs want to build their own empires. So they don't relate to each other. They don't share experiences. Everybody wants to be the best. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Relate to each other as NGOs. Share your experiences. Pick the best ones from each one of us, and then also share your challenges. So that for me is very, very important. Then the other thing I want to talk about is stigma. You know, when you talk about mental health in our society, in Ghana, especially within the Black community, there's stigma attached to it. But hey, we are doing something for the community. Therefore, we should push stigma away. Nobody will say you are not good. Nobody will blame you for going through what you are going through. So well done, everybody. I'm sure Madam Shirley, myself, will have a meeting and then probably organize another forum to highlight on these issues more. Thank you very much. Well done. Let's keep the good work going. Thank you.
Thank you so much. One last, I saw one man, I think he's left. One last, what's it called? Statement before we go. I know our time is over, but today is what's it called? World Humanitarian Day. Let's have time for ourselves today. Any last statement before we go? But just like I said, please survey for us, the feedback form, join our WhatsApp group. It's all in the chat. Yeah. Maxwell, I can see your face. I can see your picture. If you are someone, can you say something? That'll be the last statement from us. Okay. Once again, Doctor, thank you so much. Thank you so. I mean, I felt like okay. Somebody, Adam has raised her. Adam, go on.
Yes, please. I would like to say a big thank you to NCVO and Dr. Pamela and Dan and everyone on board. I must say that I'm a first-hand. I've experienced all that she mentioned, especially regarding mental health. And at the moment, since the beginning of this year, I've been battling with my health. I've been through 3 health centers. I'm on my 7th treatment right now. None of them are responding and all that. And all she mentioned, I actually had to learn the hard way this year, and I had to put things on hold. So I'm really happy for NCVO organizing this particular forum. And also, I would like to say that if there is the chance for follow-up on all of us from NCVO other organizations. We'll be really glad, because I am a one band and I finance or I fund the organization myself, and it's very hectic, not easy at all, but I must say, oh my goodness, I'm being emotional. Thank you. I really needed this. Yeah.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Put your contact number again. We also have a WhatsApp group. Michael, can you just reshare just the WhatsApp group? We have a WhatsApp group that we have about 510 nonprofits on there. So it's a group that we come together, share knowledge, talk about, and all that. So you can also join the WhatsApp group. But for me, this is what NCVO Ghana is all about. Just bringing us. Sometimes it's not that the heavy presentation. Sometimes you can go to events and you'll be bombarded with so much information that by the time you leave, you can't even take anything home. For me, this is a type of webinars that I'm really into, because doctor spoke the way she spoke to us. I felt like I was in church, and that's what we need. That's what we need. Getting all the inspiration. So, I mean, just like I said, it's almost 12:30. We can go on and on and on. But once again, thank you everyone for joining.
Miss Shirley,
yes.
can I just say one thing?
Yes,
there's a lot of work that's going on in Ghana at the moment. It started off from trying to petition government to decriminalize attempted suicides.
Yeah.
And through that, a lot of organizations have come on board that platform. So I will try and go through that list and try and find, because there is support, there is mental health support in Ghana. I know that some of the psychiatrists and mental health providers in Ghana set up their own call centers, especially during that period of time. So, and they set it up using their own resources. So there are some support out there. For those from the UK, there's like a whole plethora of support. So maybe once you send out the presentation, I'll try and find the Ghana ones, because I know that is something that is much more difficult to identify, because there isn't a space. I'm finding that finding the right information online in Ghana is very difficult. Either it doesn't exist or it's not updated. So I'll try and find some key contacts. I know the Mental Health Authority in Ghana has been doing a lot of work in the kind of the community setting. So I will try and find it so that you don't feel isolated if there are any mental health concerns, either for yourself or for those that you encounter on your work.
Okay, so I think a lot of you sign up, so we have your email address, but just in case you did not sign up, because you're going to share the presentation and the recording as well. So just in case you did not sign up, put your email address and your name in the chat so that you don't miss the recording and the presentation. I think I saw Talk to Me Foundation raising a hand up. Did you want to say something, or it just was a mistake?
It was a mistake, but well done. Well done, Auntie and your team, for the insightful presentation. God bless you.
Okay, God bless you too. So once again, thank you very much. The slides will be shared. The recording will be shared. The chat will also be shared. It's all been recorded. So have a lovely day. It feels like a holiday. I don't know why. It feels like I'm on holiday. Today is a day off for me. After hearing all this, I just feel like taking time off to, relax. I think that you can't save the whole world. You just have to do what we can. Amen. All right. Bye-bye, everyone, and hope to see you again very soon. And those of you did not turn on your camera, thank you too. Thank you too. Thank you very, very much. And then, I just saw somebody anyway. God bless you all. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. As I said, our next webinar is on the 4th of September on social media digital strategy. Please sign up for it. We'll share that one as well. Bye, everyone. See you soon. Bye. Bye-bye.